Starting with shear failure of soil. When soil is loaded, shearing stress are induced in it. When the shearing stress has reached the limiting value, shear deformation takes place, leading to the failure of soil mass. The failure may be in the forms of sinking of a tank or movement of a wedge of soil behind retaining wall, forcing it to move out, or the slide in an embankment. The property that enables a material to remain in equilibrium when its surface is not in level, it is defined as a shear strength. Shear strength of soil is one of the important engineering property of soil. Design of foundation, determination of bearing capacity, study of stability of slopes, etc. can be done only after knowing the shear strength of soil. Shear strength of soil can be defined as the resistance to deformation by continuous shear displacement of soil particles. It is property of soil which enables the soil to remain in equilibrium against any sloping surface. Sloping surface may side slopes of embankment, earth and dam, etc. The shear strength of soil depends mainly upon frictional forces, cohesion and dilatancy. So talking about frictional force, it is force produced due to the friction between the surface of contact. When the load is applied on soil mass, friction is produced due to interlocking of particles which prevent the sliding. Cohesion, due to cohesion property of some soil, force of attraction between individual particles arises which keep the soil particles to bound together. So when the load is applied on the soil mass, resistance is offered by this cohesive force which increase the strength of the soil mass. Next one is dilatancy. The expansion of soil due to shear at a contact pressure is called as dilatancy. It is observed by experience that the change in void ratio due to shear depend upon the vertical load and relative density of sand. So this dilatancy effect on shear strength. So there are three methods to find out shear failure: general shear failure, local shear failure and puncturing shear failure. Now moving further to field situation of shear failure. Shear failure means the shearing strength of subsoil which is overstressed and caused for settlement of the foundational structure. Following are the field situation where shear failure takes place. First one is sloping sides of embankment of road, sloping surface of embankment of earthen dam, earth pressure against retaining structure, and sloping sides of an open cuts, etc. Here is the concept of shear strength of soil. Concept of shear strength arises due to the basic principle of friction between two solid bodies. Let there are two bodies A and B resting one over the other as shown in figure. Other conditions are as follows. Suppose the lower body B is fixed against motion. If Fn is the vertical load or normal force which applied on the top surface of body A, Fa is horizontal applied force so that both bodies slides on one another. Resistance force Fr. If Fa is small, the force will be balanced by an equal and opposite force Fv and block AB will remain at rest. Force Fr is produced due to the roughness between two blocks along with the plane XX. R is the resultant force which is the resultant normal force Fn and resistance force Fr. Rho is the angle which is subtended between resultant force R and normal perpendicular to plane XX is called as angular obliquity. If the horizontal force Fa is increased, then Fr, the resistance force, also increases. At last, the stage will reach when block A slides over block B along with the plane XX. At this stage, normal will make an angle equal to rho m with resultant R. So Fa is called as shear force on the block, Fr is called as shear strength on the or shear resistance. If Fn is increased and procedure is repeated, Fa is directly proportional to Fn. So here we get the value of shearing stress tau, which is equal to Fa upon A, capital A, that is area. Normal stress rho, which is equal to Fn upon A. Here are some components of shearing resistance. Very first component is cohesion. So talking about cohesion, there are number of soils which have a finite shear strength even when no normal load is acting on it. Shearing strength of such soils does not increases with the application of normal load. Such type of soils are known as pure cohesive soils. Shear strength of cohesive soil is dependent upon cohesion. Cohesion can be illustrated by considering two sheets of fly paper with their sticky sides in contact. Large amount of force will be necessary to slide one sheet over the other even though normal load is not being applied because sticky sides possess some cohesion. Cohesion is the property of holding the soil particles together. The exact nature of the surface forces causing cohesion is not known, but may be force of attraction. Cohesion is in soil may be due to cementation in naturally occurring soils due to the presence of carbonates, ions, oxides, silicates, etc. Sand is cohesionless soil. The soil which does not exhibit the cohesive property is called as cohesionless soil. Second one is internal friction. Shear in cohesionless soil is similar in many respects to the phenomena of friction between two bodies. Consider two blocks is in equilibrium under its own weight W and normal reaction of surface n. If a horizontal force P is applied to the block near contact surface until the body is in equilibrium, it indicates P is balanced by an equal and opposite force developed between the surfaces in contact. This force F is called as frictional force. Hence, the applied horizontal force P can be termed as shearing force and developed friction F can be termed as shearing resistance. Similarly, resultant of N and F is R, which makes the angle with N. This angle can be termed as developed frictional angle and its value will be maximum when P is just in limiting equilibrium with F. This limiting angle of friction in case of cohesionless soil is about 35 degrees when the cohesionless soil allowed to fall from the little height. It occupies a natural slope with the horizontal surface. This slope is called as angle of internal soil friction. In soil, internal friction develops due to interlocking of soil particles and sliding or rolling friction. So here you can see natural slope and angle of internal soil friction of angle response. Moving further to Mohr-Coulomb failure theory, the soil is particulate material. The shear failures occur in soil by slippage of particles due to shear stresses. The shear failure is essentially by shear, but shear stresses at failure depend upon the normal stresses. On the potential failure plane, according to the Mohr, the failure is caused by a critical combination of the normal and shear stresses. The soil fails when the shear stress on the failure plane at failure is a unique function of the normal stress acting on that plane. Since the shear stress on the failure plane at failure is defined as the shear strength, above equation can be written as S is equals to F into rho. The Mohr theory is concerned with the shear stress at failure plane. A plot can be made between the shear stress tau and normal stress rho at failure. The curve defined by equation S is equals to F rho is known as Mohr envelope. There is a unique failure envelope for each material. So in diagram you can see the Mohr circle, normal stress and shear stress and failure envelope which is happen. Failure of the material is occurs when the Mohr circle of stresses touches the Mohr envelope. The Mohr circle represents all possible combination of shear and normal stresses at this stress point. At the point of contact of the failure envelope and the Mohr circle, the critical combination of shear and normal stresses is reached and the failure occurs. The plane indicated by the line PD is therefore the failure plane. Any Mohr circles which does not cross the failure envelope and lies below the envelope represents a stable condition. The Mohr circle cannot cross the Mohr envelope as the failure would have already occurred as soon as the Mohr circle touched the envelope. So in this diagram you can see in detail the Mohr circle theory, where curve and stress lines are also provided. The shear strength of the soil particle at a point on particular plane was expressed by Coulomb as a linear function of this normal stress as S is equal to C plus rho tan phi. In other words, Mohr envelope is replaced by Coulomb as shown in figure below. Moving towards revised Mohr-Coulomb equation. Later research shows that the parameter C and phi in equation are not necessarily fundamental properties of the soil as was originally assumed by Coulomb. This parameter depend upon a number of factors such as water content, drainage condition of testing. The current practice is to consider C and phi as mathematical parameters which represent the failure condition for a particular soil under given condition. That is the reason why C and phi are now called cohesion intercept and angle of shearing resistance. This indicates the intercept and the slope of the failure envelope respectively. Terzaghi established that the normal stresses which control the shear strength of the soil are the effective stresses and not the total stresses. In terms of effective stresses, equation can written as S is equals to C plus rho dash tan phi dash, where C dash and phi dash are the cohesion intercept and the angle of shearing resistance in terms of effective stresses. Above equation is known as revised Mohr-Coulomb equation. The Mohr-Coulomb theory shows a reasonably good arrangement with the observed failures in the field and the laboratory. The theory is ideally suited for studying and behavior of soil at failure. The theory is used for estimation of the shear strength of soil. However, even this theory is not perfect. Here are some limitations of Mohr-Coulomb theory equation. It neglects the effect of the intermediate principal stress. It approximates the curved failure envelope by a straight line, which may not give correct result. When the Mohr envelope is curved, the actual obligity of the failure plane is slightly smaller than the maximum obligity. Therefore, the angle of the failure plane as found is not correct. And last, for some clayey soil, there is no fixed relationship between the normal stress and shear stress on the plane of failure. The theory cannot be used for such soils. Moving further, types of soil. There are majorly two types of soil: cohesion-based soil and purely cohesive soil. Starting with cohesion-based soil, these are the soils which do not have cohesion, that is C is equal to 0. These soils derive the shear strength from the intergranular friction. These soils are also called as frictional soils, for example sands and gravels. If soil is purely cohesion-based, just like sand, then Coulomb equation reduces tau is equals to rho tan theta. If graph is plotted between normal stress and shear stress, when C is equal to 0, shows a straight line as shown in figure. Second one is purely cohesive soil. These are the soils which exhibit a cohesion, but the angle of shearing resistance phi is equal to 0. for example saturated clay, and sit under drainage condition. If the soil is purely cohesive like clay, then the Coulomb's equation reduced to tau is equal to C. The cohesive soil graph is plotted between normal stress and shear stress when phi is equal to 0. The straight line, but it's parallel to x-axis. So here are some laboratory determination method for shear strength of soil. Very first one is direct shear method, second one is triaxial shear method, and third one is unconfined compressive strength method, that is CBRT. All these things are included in your practical syllabus also. That means these practicals also we are going to see in detail in our practical videos. And field methods are field vein shear test, and indirect methods like penetration test, pressure meter, etc. So starting with only diagrams of practicals, this is direct shear test apparatus diagram. You can see it has steel wall, leading plate, U-arm, porous stone rollers, soil specimen, shear force applied by jack, shearing plane and loading yoke. This is triaxial shear test. Triaxial shear test setup having sample in between, porous stone, water, porous poor measure of the poor pressure measurement, drainage pipe, base, connection to pressure assembly, perspex cylinder, air valves are present over there. And unconfined compression test, which include handle, probing ring, probing dial, strain dial, moving plate, conical set ring. Samples to be included, based or all is included in this. And last one is wear and shear test. In wear and shear test, torsion wheels, steel torque, shear wheels are seen here. So all these four practicals we are going to see in our practical videos. So here your third chapter is over. Only numerical part is remaining, which we are going to see in numerical videos. Thank you guys.